Hello, Get the Pen family. This is Get the Pen. We're going to have a few Get the Pen moments. My name is Janine, folks, and thank you for coming to my channel. If something resonates with you or you like the energy here, please subscribe, like, comment, all of the things. If you've been with me for a while, I started this channel, I started recording in May of 2024. And when I initially started, I committed to recording weekly videos for a year. So that year was up a few months ago in May. Now we're in August. And once I fulfilled that commitment, I sort of slacked off and I haven't been recording as much as I did for that year that I committed to. So now I just record when something is on my mind or when I feel like it. And lately I've just been feeling like I just want to be quiet. I have not felt compelled to really talk about much or anything in particular. But today I just decided to record just to check in with everybody. So a couple weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, I was in London in the United Kingdom, and it was a great experience. It was an interesting experience to be in another country. Fortunately, the language was very similar, pretty much the same. It was another dialect of English, but English nonetheless, which made traveling and navigating in London, England, a lot easier than if I had been in a foreign country where the language was completely different. But now there are so many tools available to help you communicate when you are interacting with someone who speaks a completely different language that you don't know or that you're not even familiar with. But it was an interesting trip. I felt like I was in a parallel universe. There were some similarities, there were some differences, there were some pros, there were some cons, and I got to see some things for myself and experience some things firsthand, being in another country across the ocean, hours and hours away from home. It was a unique experience, and some people do it on a regular. Some people are world travelers all the time. Traveling like that has a tendency to exhaust me a little bit, especially when you cross time zones like that, where there's a big difference between what your body is used to and the time zone that the other country is on. But nonetheless, great experience. I'm glad I had it. So now I'm back home and just taking advantage of the 8-8 Lionsgate portal, even though it's 8-9, but just this time of being intentional about what I want, where I want to go, and just being mindful and being open and listening to directives of what to do next. What am I doing? What should I do? Who should I do it with? Collaborations, who to work with, who not to work with. There are so many things, so many decisions, and so many opportunities to do different things and to be creative and to explore new avenues. And that's what I'm doing. It's such an exciting time. So, the topic that I wanted to touch on today um, is something that had been on my mind, and then I was thinking about it like, well, how do I present this? How do you talk about this? And I'm just gonna jump in and talk about it. Sometimes when you go places or you enter groups, whether it is a new workplace, a new club, a new organization, a new team, and you're the new kid or the new person. It could be up in a school or a classroom setting. Whenever you're entering spaces where there are groups of people, um, I don't really want to use the word congregation, but a congregation is generally a gathering of people, uh, be it a workplace, be it a church, be it whatever. and y'all know I skate. So even being the skate community, when you enter these spaces as the new person and you're trying to make new friends and you're trying to blend in with the culture and you're trying to become a part of it, to enjoy the benefits of being connected to others. We're built for connection. So even when you're a loner, even if you are an introvert and you prefer being by yourself, you still on some level need connection. You need people in your life, you need friends, you need team members, you need to be a part of a team, that kind of thing. Social interaction. We all need it, no matter how social or antisocial you are. You need somebody. But when we enter these new groups, it is not unusual to feel rejected, where people might look at you sideways or not be very kind or friendly because you're new. And sometimes when that happens to us, we have a tendency to say, "Okay, forget this. I'm out. I'm leaving." But hold on. Hold on. Sometimes, and it depends, you got to know if you're sent. Were you sent or led to be a part of this group, a part of this team? Why are you there? Are you there to make friends? Maybe you are, maybe you're not. You could have a deeper purpose in being in that space. Joining that team, joining that community is deeper than, oh, I'm here to make friends, and because people aren't friendly, my feelings are hurt, I'm going to leave. You got to be careful. You might have to stick it out, because sometimes even when people don't accept us immediately, once they see your dedication, once they see who you are, eventually they may embrace you, because you got to see it from their point of view. When new people come around, you don't know their motives. They don't know your motives. Even if you don't have a motive, they don't know that. So there is this period of proving yourself. And I'm not saying like go all out and do the most trying to prove yourself. No, be yourself, be natural, be authentic, because people can tell when you're not authentic. Be yourself, and that will prove itself, and that will show who you are. And once they see who you are, maybe they'll like you, maybe they'll accept you, maybe they will embrace you, maybe they will treat you like one of the team, like one of their family members, and they'll embrace you and you'll be in. But don't expect to just jump in, like show up, "Hey, my name is blah blah," and they be like, "Hey, come on." And some people might. Some people may be able to discern your energy, that your energy is good, and that it is you're well meaning, and not there to bring drama or toxicity or harm, but that you're a good addition to the team. Some people can discern that right away, but for others, you got to be tested. They got to check you out a little bit. They got to see what you're made of. They got to see what your level of commitment is, and that you're not there to like spy them out or take their ideas or uh, work your way in. Like you're not a mole. You're not ops trying to infiltrate their organization. So, and I'm saying all that to say that if when you try to become a part of a group, you don't feel the warmest embrace, um, and if this is something that you feel called to do with a deeper meaning, stick it out, show who you are, and maybe they will embrace you. If they don't, then you just have to decide how much you can take, how much, it depends on, are they treating you bad or just ignoring you. So there are a lot of things to weigh out in those situations. But I don't know who needs to hear this, but there are people who are just ready to walk away from things because so and so didn't embrace them or welcome them with open arms right away. Just know that that's not always going to happen, and that's not your sign necessarily to run. Because you got to think, and there is even a scripture in the Bible that says, "Lay your hands suddenly on no man." And what some people take that as, It's like, okay, I gotta vet you out just to see if you are worthy. Sorry. Okay. So, they got to vet you out, and you got to be willing to be vetted, to be questioned, to be watched so that they can see who you are. They got to see and know who you are before they expose you to their secrets, their lifestyle, their group, their family, cuz that's sacred. That is sacred. Um it's just like, sororities and fraternities. You have to go through a process. They call it being online, and I'm not part of the Divine Nine. You know, I was never online. I never crossed anything, but I've been around to see how they operate. There is a long, drawn out process and a lot of learning that you have to do before you can even be accepted, before you can cross over. So when you walk into these new arenas, there's a process for being accepted. And I'm not excusing people for being rude or mean or unkind. People shouldn't be like that. But when they are, don't always take it personal. It may be their way of saying, "Oh, who was that? What she want? Why is she here? Why is he here? What does he want? What's his motive?" That's their way of conveying that. We don't know. So if you feel like this is something you really are supposed to be a part of, just stick it out. And if you're there for you, be so sure of yourself that you don't need a person's friendship to be a part of the group. You're there for a higher purpose, which is, and friendship is not even a part of it. It's deeper than that. And if you feel convicted um, to where you gotta stick it out and do it, then do it. Do that. Be that. Um, that's it. So I don't know. Maybe somebody will be encouraged to just like, maybe I'll give it a little more time, or give that person who was unkind to me a little grace, because maybe they just don't know me yet. They just got to get to know me. They just got to see that I'm the real deal, that I'm genuine, I'm sincere, I'm not shady, I'm not here to cause any trouble, I'm not here to steal from anybody, I'm not here to disrupt the system, but maybe I am. You might be. Some systems need to be disrupted. I'm not saying we go to cause trouble, don't do that, but sometimes you just being you can be disruptive. Your energy is disruptive, but ultimately, it should bring healing. It should bring empowerment, unity, edification, things like that. But this has been a Get the Pen moment, and I've been missing y'all. I'm so happy to see y'all. Thank you again. Thanks for joining. Y'all have a great day. Check me out next time. Subscribe, like, comment, share, all of it. See ya.